Welcome back to Filmmaster Reviews. I'm Adam J, bringing you my re-ranking of the DCEU. For future content on this channel, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. I ranked this a couple years back, but in those couple years, several new films have come out in the DCEU, and with The Flash effectively hitting the reset button on the whole thing, I figured it was time to do a new ranking for these films. Don't get me wrong, there are some grade A stinkers up in this bitch, but with so many of my reviews of newer movies being mostly negative, I wanted to do a video where I could praise a bunch of films that I like, even if it's mixed with a few that I really don't. It is sad to see the DCEU go. I personally don't think it was beyond saving, but I'm not James Gunn and I'm not being paid by Warner Brothers, so the fuck do I know, right? That being said, let's get started with the bottom of the barrel piece of crap that is... Words cannot describe my hatred for this cut of the film. The way Warner Brothers took this film from Zack Snyder at a time of tragedy and absolutely butchered his vision and hard work is disgusting and aggravating to even talk about. It baffles me that every decision Snyder had in his cut, which you will see much higher in this list, was better than what the studio wanted. Do yourself a favor, just chuck the Joss Whedon abortion in the trash forever and accept Zack Snyder's vision as our true canon. I'm sorry, that needs to happen. Screw this abomination. At number 13 is Wonder Woman 84. I remember this movie came out on Christmas Day. I was roommates with my buddy Robert Storms at the time, and both of us were really looking forward to it. We sat down on Christmas with a bunch of beers, and concluded about an hour in that we didn't buy nearly enough. There is not enough alcohol on this earth that can make Wonder Woman 1984 an enjoyable movie. Outside of Cheetah, who I did like and felt deserved a much better movie, there was nothing here. The plot made no sense. The holes are so huge, I'm surprised none of the actors fell in one. The green screen is horrendous, the CGI is a joke, the morals are bullshit, and Wonder Woman rapes a guy. Wonder Woman rapes a guy! Now, granted, if I was in the situation this guy was in, and I found out later, I would not complain one bit. And if you're calling me an asshole for that, let me explain to you how this works. Folks, this is Gal Gadot. That's it. I should not have to explain anything beyond that. Still, rape is rape. Not cool, Patty Jenkins. Not cool. And this is where most people will probably turn the video off and not watch the rest of it, because when this came out, everyone drank the Kool-Aid faster than a Thai hooker. But I'm sorry, I don't like Kool-Aid. Give me Sunny D any day, bitch. And no, I didn't accidentally switch this with the 2016 film. I genuinely did not like The Suicide Squad as a film. It took me almost 4 hours to get through this whole movie because it kept pissing me off so much. I was not feeling the cast camaraderie, Peacemaker was irritating, and him killing Rick Flag was bullshit, to the point where I had to stop the movie and break from it for 30 minutes before continuing. I didn't find the humor funny, Harley Quinn was fucking useless in the movie, and I stand by that statement. I thought it was stupid to introduce a shitload of new characters who could have been interesting, only to kill them off at the very start of the film. Shit, you killed my boy Boomerang right at the start. Fuck you. You could say it feels more like the comic till you're blue in the face. I'm sorry, what works in a comic book isn't necessarily going to work on film. Much like the squad in this movie, taking down an alien kaiju. Oh yeah, I love how everyone bitches about them fighting a witch in the first film, but no, an alien kaiju, that's okay. Give me a fucking break. If this is the direction James Gunn wants for the DCU, I'm sorry, this shit is in fucking trouble. Okay, I just reviewed this one. I'll leave a link to my review in the description. For now, here are the highlights. The Flash is a 2-hour CGI jizz fest that had no business being made with a script this bad. It was a film with 3 redeeming qualities: Michael Keaton's Batman, Sasha Calle's Supergirl, and a Nicolas Cage Superman cameo. That's literally it. Michael Shannon returns as Zod in this film, and it feels beyond superfluous and lazy. For the record, Zod is my favorite villain in the DCEU, so it kind of pisses me off that The Flash made him feel so worthless to everything happening. It's a film that begins bad, gets a slight upgrade in the middle with the introduction of Batman and Supergirl, and then goes off a damn cliff in the third act. Also, let me say, I do like Ezra Miller as an actor, but goddamn, they made alternate Barry so ungodly irritating that any good performance he might have had as the other version of Barry got lost in the shuffle. This film is a mess. I really hope its failure does not exclude Sasha Calle from being Supergirl in the future, because she was fucking phenomenal. Again, her and Michael Keaton were both great. They deserved a better movie. Oh yes, I will gladly put this above The Flash. For all the problems plaguing Fury of the Gods, it's at least structured properly, you know, like an actual fucking film. And upon rewatch, the thing is, it's not awful. It's just generic and boring. Like, if I wanted something for background noise to waste some time, I'd throw something like this on. It has a couple cool action sequences, Helen Mirren is good in the movie, but she's not in it enough to save it, and the family gets a few good laughs here and there. Not a ton, but a few. So yeah, it's not entirely a bad film, it's just very bland, forgettable, and middle of the road. I think what really kills it is that Billy Batson as a character barely plays a role this time. He's Shazam for like 90% of the movie, so all the heart that Billy brought to that first movie is all but abandoned here. It just doesn't feel right overall. If they had more of that heart present, this film could have been better and hit a lot deeper. Sadly, I think they were more concerned with upping the ante with the action instead of upping the emotional core of the story. Ultimately, I believe that was its biggest downfall. It's not very good, but it's not awful either. You could do worse, especially in this universe. Now, this one went down a few notches from my initial ranking. There are two reasons for this. One, some new films came out that I honestly found better and more entertaining. Second is the fact that while the movie is pretty good, I almost never have the urge to rewatch it. I don't know if it's just because it's a lighter movie, or because all these years I still can't remember the ungodly generic villain's name. You know, I'm not even gonna bother looking it up, he's so damn forgettable. But still, regardless of its placement on this list, there's a lot to like in this. Billy Batson as the character gives the movie a lot of heart. The whole ordeal with him and his mother in the movie is beyond heartbreaking when he learns the truth. I won't lie, after becoming a parent, that hits even harder for me because I can't even imagine abandoning my child. I can barely stand it when me and my kid aren't in the same room. So yeah, Billy Batson's mom, fuck her. The action in the movie is a ton of fun. I love the climax with the family all becoming champions and kicking ass. The whole montage of him learning his powers is fun. It's a fun movie overall. That being said, I just have more fun with the other films in this list. Yes, I know Shazam is a better movie. It has more heart, it's structured better, and it has better action. I'm not disputing this. But if you ask me if I wanted to rewatch Shazam or Suicide Squad, 9 times out of 10, I'm always gonna say Suicide Squad. Regardless of the film's faults, and there are many, Suicide Squad is a fun ensemble piece that always entertains me. Yes, Jared Leto's Joker is lame. Yes, they really could have toned down the music video aspects of the film. And yes, the Suicide Squad is only in this position because Amanda Waller is stupid. Not denying this at all. But what really pulls me through with this movie, and why I always go back to it, is the cast camaraderie. I love seeing all these actors work off each other because, say what you will about the film, their chemistry is undeniable. They all apparently became very good friends on set, and that shows on the screen. I especially loved the character building and development between Will Smith's Deadshot and Joel Kinnaman's Rick Flag. They were great together. Margot Robbie absolutely kills it as Harley Quinn. And in all fairness, while she gets a ton of shit, Enchantress is not a bad villain at all. She's not a great one by any means, but I think people really go overboard in regards to the hate for this character. Again, I'm with you on the Jared Leto thing, but when it comes to Enchantress, I just don't really get the hate. The action is fun, the main cast is giving 110%, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller is legendary and at times scary as shit. This is a film I will pop in every once in a while and never be bored with. Apparently David Ayer came out and said he had a better cut of the film, and if that's ever released, I'll gladly watch it. Hell, I may watch it and throw this version in the garbage. Who knows? But for what I have now, Suicide Squad is more than satisfying to me and always has been. Oh yes, folks, I will gladly put this above The Flash as well. Oh, bring that hate mail, motherfuckers. Yes, I understand The Rock's ego ultimately tanked this film and caused the DCEU to hit the reset button. I get it. That pisses me off. That doesn't make this a bad film, guys. In fact, I'd argue it's a pretty solid film with a few noticeable flaws. Yes, the kid is annoying. Like, super fucking annoying. And the film relies too heavily on CGI, especially in the climax. The difference between the CGI here and the CGI in The Flash is that, well, the CGI here is actually fucking good for the most part, and the CGI in The Flash is a damn dumpster fire. I thought The Rock did a fine job as Black Adam. Going back to what I said about the back and forth with Will Smith and Joel Kinnaman in Suicide Squad, the back and forth here between The Rock's Black Adam and Aldous Hodge's Hawkman is quite great. Much like that film, they both come to respect each other and what they stand for by the film's end. Seeing the Justice Society in a movie and kicking this much ass only added to the film's enjoyability. Pierce Brosnan owned as Dr. Fate. Once Black Adam is released from his tomb, the film becomes non-stop fun. Again, the little kid is annoying, but I can get over that. I think the only other flaws for me were some cringy dialogue here and there, and a villain that, while not terrible, isn't really strong. I'll also admit that it does have a lot of superhero cliches we've seen a million times. There's not a lot new here. Regardless though, Black Adam is a damn good time that I will gladly sit through any day. At number 6 for me is Aquaman. Out of all the films in the DCEU, this is probably the one that surprised me the most. Let's be fair. Before we saw Jason Momoa play this character, Aquaman was always seen as a joke. The general consensus was that Aquaman was the pussy of the Justice League. With the release of this film, that bullshit consensus was entirely put to bed. Jason Momoa proved all the naysayers wrong and showed that Aquaman could be one badass character. I love the way James Gunn crafted this film. I think he delivered on the action and the drama perfectly. Jason Momoa and Amber Heard have very good on-screen chemistry, which is weird considering the news that came out about them not getting along on set. Really, my only issue with this film is that Black Manta was not given enough screen time. Black Manta was beautifully built up in the film, but wasted after one action sequence. I personally think the character deserved better, and I sincerely hope Aquaman 2 delivers on that. Yes, number 5 is Birds of Prey, another controversial pick for this highest spot, I get it. But I've always loved this film. It's one that, outside of a couple things, I really don't get the near universal hate for. I thought Kathy Yan directed the shit out of this movie, and crafted a fun, funny, and gloriously entertaining ensemble piece starring Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. The action sequences are some of the best the DCEU has to offer. No one can tell me the police station scene and the carnival fight weren't fucking amazing. Ewan McGregor plays the villain, Black Mask, and he is having the time of his life playing this character. Yes, they changed him slightly from his comic book counterpart, but when the character is this enjoyable, I don't give a shit. Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Journey Smollett were great as Huntress and Black Canary respectively. I'm actually bummed that I won't see either character in a movie again. I thought both characters damn near stole the movie at times. Now, I will say I didn't really care for Renee Montoya or Cassandra Cain. I think you could have swapped them out for better characters, but they don't hinder my enjoyment of the film at all. They don't get on my nerves like the kid from Black Adam or the alternate Barry from The Flash. Okay, both characters just feel kind of out of place here. Regardless though, the rest of the movie was so good and so entertaining that those small character aspects don't really bother me too much. Others hate the film, but I'll always love it. At number 4 for me is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, please keep in mind, I only acknowledge the Ultimate Edition of this film. The theatrical cut was a goddamn turd and should just be forgotten about. This version of the film is what Zack Snyder intended us to see, and he put back in all the scenes that had the story actually make sense. I love how ambitious Snyder was with this film. But anyway, after the Ultimate Edition was released, it instantly became one of my favorite films in the DCEU. Once I saw Zack's actual vision with the missing scenes put back in, and without the atrocious all over the place editing, the movie instantly clicked with me. I'm honestly sick of the Batman killing argument. If you think the movie is saying that Batman killing people is okay, you are completely missing the point of the film, and I shouldn't have to point out the obvious. Ben Affleck was a perfect Batman. Henry Cavill shows why he's still my favorite Superman, willing to die for a world that hates him. I will admit, I'm not a fan of Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but I do applaud Zack Snyder and Eisenberg for trying something vastly different with the character. From its character building, to its storytelling, to its action scenes, to its themes, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is a great film that I feel is underappreciated. And number 3 for me is Wonder Woman. When all the hate was coming out towards the DCEU, this movie popped into theaters and pretty much shut the haters up. It was near universally liked, and for good reason. We could not have asked for a better origin movie for Wonder Woman. I love the moments of her just being brought into this new world and experiencing little things like dresses and ice cream for the first time. It really gave the film some much needed heart. Gal Gadot is amazing in the role. That whole No Man's Land scene just fucking rocks. The climax, which gets a lot of shit from people, was entirely badass. I don't know why people have such strong feelings toward that ending, but I felt it worked perfectly. I just don't see the problem at all. David Thewlis crushed it as Ares at the end. Diana's relationship with Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, was great. I love seeing these two play off each other. Wonder Woman isn't just an awesome comic book movie, it's just an awesome movie, in general, and deserves all the love it gets. And number 2 is Zack Snyder's Justice League. This movie is a damn masterpiece and deserves nothing but praise. It was my favorite film of 2021, it gave us a proper Justice League movie, and finally showcased Snyder's vision for the film. The Flash went from a character I hated in the Joss Whedon cut to a character I genuinely loved in this one. Still kind of pissed I didn't carry over to the Flash movie, but I have this, and this is good enough. Hell, the scene of him reversing time and saving everyone is my favorite scene in the movie. So for everyone saying that I'm hating on the Flash movie just to hate on it, please fuck off. All of Cyborg's character development was put back in. That scene at the end where he confronts the Mother Box and states, "I'm not broken and I'm not alone," gives me chills every time I see it. Steppenwolf got a massive upgrade here, going from a PS3 graphics character to an intimidating monster with actual motivations and a clear character. He went from the DCEU's worst villain to one of its absolute best. Batman's development is also revived in this version, instilling the theme of faith in the story. I will also say that it's Ben Affleck's best performance as the character. Henry Cavill's Superman shines so much brighter in this version. Forget the fact that they gave him the actual resurrection suit this time. The scene where he gets the suit sends chills down my spine, with him hearing the words of both fathers telling him to fly and that it's time. I'm sorry, I can't gush about this movie enough. It was everything I wanted it to be and more. Yes, it's very long, but that's okay. When a filmmaker can make a 4-hour movie that I'm never bored with, he's obviously doing something right. While I can acknowledge Wonder Woman and Zack Snyder's Justice League are probably better films from a technical standpoint, I will always want to watch this film before any other film in the DCEU. Man of Steel is perfect to me. Perfect in how the story is presented, perfect in terms of acting, perfect in terms of action, and perfect in terms of its themes. It is filled with so many memorable moments, and it's undoubtedly my favorite Superman film, featuring my favorite Superman, Henry Cavill. This is one movie where, when people bring up their issues with it, I just don't see their side. I can respect others having different opinions, but I just don't get the arguments against this one. He causes too much destruction! Yeah, it's almost like if aliens invade and try to destroy Earth and you have two super beings fighting each other, actual destruction will happen. Yeah. Superman doesn't save anybody! Yeah, except a bus full of children, Lois, his mother, several soldiers, oh, and the entire fucking human race. General Zod is an idiot. He should have just colonized Mars or something. Yeah, except that he makes it very clear that he wants to make Clark choose between his heritage and the human race who raised him. He wants Clark to suffer because of what his father did. General Zod has always had an ego, and this plays to that. If he can have his cake and eat it too, he's gonna do just that. He doesn't hate humans because they are humans. He hates humans because Clark loves them. And in the end, he doesn't give Clark a choice. He makes it very clear, if you don't kill me, if you don't kill the only link you have left to your heritage, I will kill every human. And Clark makes the choice by killing Zod. This is why Zod is my favorite DCU villain, as I stated when I discussed the Flash movie. It's poetic and heartbreaking, and I don't know why people hate it. Oh, and let's not forget my personal favorite. Superman wouldn't kill anyone! He wouldn't kill anyone! He fucking killed Zod in Superman 2! Get off of Christopher Reeve's dick, guys! This shit is getting old! But anyway, I'm sorry, it's hard for me to really think of anything I didn't love in this film. Man of Steel rocked in 2013, and still rocks 10 years later in 2023. So how would you rank the DCEU? Please let me know in the comments how much I undoubtedly pissed you off, and please subscribe if you would like to see more.